الحمد لله وكفى والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذين جاهدوا فينا لنهدينهم سبلنا سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. When we look at human relationships, we find that there are those that are really close to our heart, people that are beloved to us, that we love and adore, that we take care of. And then there are those who may not be that close. We are their well-wishers, but they are acquaintances. We want what is good for them, but that qurb is not there. And then the third kind is obviously people who we may consider our enemies. There may not be a relationship at all, or a relationship of aduwwun mubin, that we consider to be our enemies, people who do not wish well for us, etc. So when we look at our ta'alluq with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can find similar patterns. For example, there are certain entities, there are certain makhluqat, whether they are jinn, whether they are insan, that are considered enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are certain insan or jinn that Allah ta'ala considers najas because of their shirk. They may take all the showers that they want, the most clean clothes, perfume, but their spirituality, their batin is najas as far as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is concerned. And when it comes to jinn and people who act like jinn, shaitan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very clearly in the Quran calls them Allah ta'ala's enemies, that they are your enemies and they are enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what about those people who may be, not that close, but, still have some small ta'alluq? And what about those who are very close? This is what I want to bring our attention to. It is something that we have been discussing in our morning suhoor talks as well. There are two kinds of salik and two kinds of people. One is what we call murid, and the other is what we call murad. And one of the ayahs that was recited today was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does ijtiba to whomever He wants. These are the people who are the murad. These are the people who have a special jazb from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the people who are mahboob to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are ma'shook to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather than muhib and ashik, these are the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. So these are the ones that are close. And their tariq is what the mashayikh have called madzub salik, that Allah ta'ala has the special nazar on them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pulls them towards Him. The general kayfiyat and ahwal of such a person is that usually they are in a state of bast. Usually, they are intoxicated in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's really no connection of sorts with the makhluk or dunya. Just like in dunya we find people who are drunk, they have no idea what's going on. So they are drunk on the muhabbat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So such people we call majzub salik. Okay? It's like if your loved one is coming, let's say from Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, Egypt, whatever. What do? Those who we love, we will go travel all the way from here to JFK, right? Pay all the tolls, hour, 2 hours, it could take a long time, and we are there when they come out. It's like you don't have to worry about anything. I am here. We take their luggage, I put them in the car, and then we drive them all the way back. All they have to do is just rest. Right? They're looking everywhere, mashallah, somebody else is doing the driving. Right? So think of the murad and majzub as such people. And there might be some, that you may know. Oh, we are coming here to visit you. Okay. Where are you landing? JFK? If that's the case, okay, just take train. It might get you here, or take an Uber, take some taxi, and, you can come. Just put this address. This is the address. This is the destination. And this is, take whatever direction you want to take, and inshallah you will get there. The second kind is what we call murid. And their tariq is what we call salik mujzub. That they have to really want and really put in the effort and, make a lot of mujahida. They know the destination, but that pull is not there initially. Now, if they show up on your door, you may say, oh, mashallah, come on, jazakallah, give them chai, pani and everything. So jazb for them comes at the end. Okay? Jazb for them comes at the end. So they are the murid. They are the ashiq rather than ma'shuq. They are the muhib rather than mahbub. And, ulama have written, for example, the difference between murid and murad, right? You have, prophets making dua, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli, making dua, oh Allah, give me this inshirah qalb, right? And then you have prophets. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, Alam nashrah laka sadrak? So that's the murad. That's the mahbub. Alam nashrah laka sadrak. That we gave you this. There was no asking. There was no asking. So this is the murad. These are people who are usually Muhammadul Mashrab. These are the people who have very special affinity and muhabbat and ishq of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So those are the people who just drive all the way, and mashallah, it's easy for them. It's easy for them. Regardless if a person is majzub salik or salik majzub, you still have to have a ta'alluq with Allah Ta'ala, right? And so the second ayat that was read, mashallah, beautiful ayahs, like the whole Quran is just full of wisdom, right? The second ayah, that's a general kind of reprimand and, be aware. Where it is said that those people who shy away from the zikr of Rahman, from the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they shy away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does it come with consequences or not? That's a good question. If I don't do this, then what happens? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those who do this, shy away. Ya'asha, it's like shying away. What happens to them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts a shaitan on them. Shaitan is a jinn. And so a jinn becomes their companion. فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ. The jinn becomes a companion, close companion of this person. Now, there are some ulama who will say that qareen is actually a kind of a jinn, and that kind of a jinn is always, with the insan, and that this qareen facilitates shaitani attacks and wallahu a'lam. But what does happen for sure is that the influence of this jinn is now, how do jinnat influence, right? Jinn, this electromagnetic energy, influences the matrix of our mind, which is also, if you know, it's electricity, right? There are waves and electricity there. So they impose their thoughts. They impose bad thoughts, bad emotions, bad desires on a person. And just like in dunya, if I love somebody, if somebody is a qareen to me, whatever they say, oh, let's do this. Okay, yeah, okay, my friend is saying this. Why not? Let's go there. Okay, why not? Let's do this. Okay, why not? Okay? So you listen. You listen to those who you consider to be your friends and companions and close to you. And so when this shaitan, this jinn becomes close to us, companion to us, then we listen to whatever thoughts and injections the shaitan gives us. And the big sign for that is these people cannot control their bad thoughts. It's just one after another, after another, after another, after another. This is the difference between the khayalat, the thoughts coming from shaitan, whether it's qareen or others, or it is coming from our nafs. People have this. What is, is this my nafs talking to me? Is this shaitan? And ulama and mashayikh have written that shaitan will usually attack you with thoughts after thoughts after thoughts. So it's like this and then this or this or this or this. It's just constant distraction. And usually the thoughts that come from shaitan are shubhat. Doubts about this and doubts about that and doubts about this. Negative thoughts about others. This person is like this and that person is like this and this person caused this and that person. And it's always blaming others. It's always, rather than being self-centered, thinking of, it's always about others. Because now the lens has been put and we look through that. The khayalat from the nafs, they're very hawa-oriented. They're very khahishat, desire-oriented. And this is usually a very strong desire, and it's one desire. Right? I want this. I want chocolate, so I'm going to do everything to get this chocolate. Right? It's like I can think of anything. And so they're driven by their desires. And so if the thoughts are constant, and they're usually shahwat oriented, whether it is for things or whether it's for people, jamal, mal, whatever the case might be, you will find that there is nafs behind that. They're very strong. And so if there is no tazkiyah, they're very difficult. Because what's the other faculty you can use to control it? It's your aql. But aql usually will become, maghloob. Right? Aql will become maghloob to the nafs. And so we find, people who are very intelligent otherwise, very educated otherwise, they will do really crazy things. What happens? The nafs becomes ghalib, and even though they know, they say, I knew that this was wrong. They cannot help it because the nafs is so strong. Okay? So it's always good to understand, why are these thoughts coming? Where are they coming from? And a lot of times people say, well, is this or this? Why not both? Because they go together. Shaitan knows what triggers to press for the nafs. They work together. Shaitan, whether it's qareen or other shayateen, they will come and they will pull, push triggers of the nafs. So it's like shubhat and then this shahwat. It's like constant thoughts. Whether it's thoughts after thoughts after thoughts, or maybe it's like, so it's this, it's like New Jersey Turnpike in the morning, right? With accidents and with closures and with everything. And you're just stuck there and just like so much noise and people are honking, or maybe New York City. Right? That's how it becomes. Our mind just, people sometimes lose it. They don't know what to do. And that's when they're like, oh, I want sukoon in my life, peace. Where's the sukoon going to come from? Allah Ta'ala says this. Allah bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. You bring that zikr. When zikr comes, you don't shy away from your zikr, then the shayateen will step back. The qareen will step back, meaning the influence won't be there. And then with the dhikr, as you know, we all know this, what do the mashayikh say? Put some mujahidah on your nafs. So the thoughts, whether shubhat or shahwat, they settle down. The attacks, whether it's from the nafs or from the shayateen, they settle down. And now you actually realize what it means to be a human being. Insan to isko kehte hain. And what it means to be a Muslim, what it means to be a mu'min, what it means to be close to Allah, awliya of Allah. You only realize those things when these forces, you're able to free yourself from these chains. Okay? So, what du'as do we make? Allah, make me a true murid. And Allah, it's too much to ask, but Allah, I will still ask you because I am asking you, Ya Allah. Allah, make me your murad. Allah, make me somebody that you just pull towards yourself. Do this ijtiba. Do this jazb, Ya Allah Kareem. So this journey becomes easy, Ya Allah Kareem. I wish I could get my own Uber, but Ya Allah, I am totally broke. I have no himmat and nothing, Ya Allah. So I just do faryad and request, Ya Allah Kareem, that you just arrange for me to get to you, without that extra effort. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. Now are the nights that we talked about yesterday. Today is the first odd night, dark night, inshallah ta'ala. Fattakullaha mastata'atum. This is open field, inshallah ta'ala. So if we have to sacrifice our sleep, if we have to sacrifice our aram, do it. If you need to lie down, and then do dhikr. Extra nawafil, inshallah ta'ala. We will, bismillah, we will try to read salatul tasbih, inshallah ta'ala. And then do our own dhikr, astar, inshallah ta'ala. And hopefully, Allah ta'ala puts barakah in that. And we seek Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness and we seek Allah Ta'ala's guidance. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah.